All right, peace, peace, peace. Well, first and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall bless you all day by his mercies you want to consume. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body and two are naturally alive, man. I want to get into this, man, because, it's just an aspect of, we're going to try to pull through this because I'm a little tired, but, in the aspect of what you call him, but in First Samuel, First Kings, honestly, the whole, his name, honestly, with the one on your house, not profane. No, let's grab this Exodus and Psalms. Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. It says, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless to take his name in vain." Of course, his name is Exodus. The Most High house shall they declare their name, Exodus 34 and 6. Numbers 14, 18, Jeremiah 9:24, other places, Psalms, and even Sirach 1. But, that's just what the name and what's the characteristics and qualities is within their name. And that's why they're the tree of life, honestly. And that tree produces what? The fruits and fruits of the Spirit. And those characteristics and attributes of the fruits of the Spirit is in the Most High Yahshua's name. That and says scriptures that we just mentioned. But, but let's go to Psalm chapter 4 real quick. Because, we're gonna look at this aspect. I mean, we're not gonna really. I'll let y'all read it all the time, but yeah, we're gonna I'd rather y'all read it we're gonna read it in our own time, but we're gonna look at this aspect of how, not profaning the Most High or blaspheming the Most High Yahshua's name. But it says, Psalm chapter 4, verse 10. It says, "O ye sons of men, or sons of Adam, how long will you turn my glory into shame? How long will you love vanity and seek after leasing? Selah." So see, exactly. And that glory is what? Profaning his name, his glory to shame, man. Honestly, that's why in Ezekiel 36, the Most High Yahshua, he died for their name's sake, honestly, first and foremost, and to fill the book, then to save us from sin and death and dying for us, or to put an end to sin and death. But, that's just here nor there. Now, honestly, let's grab this too, because let's go to Revelation 2 real quick, because this whole Jezebel, because the whole account of Jezebel, because this happened because I was listening to God, I was actually listening to MF Doom earlier, but also too, rest in peace. But also too, I was listening to Outkast Jezebel yesterday. I don't know why. A few weeks ago, that song popped in my head. I like the singing on it, like the background. But also too, I was listening to the lyrics, what they were saying. But but I don't know. And this kind of came to mind when the Most High House came to mind when reading this, because this kind of what Jezebel did was actually too part of profaning the Most High Yahshua's name, in the aspect of or the king's name, honestly. And I'm saying, when we're saying that in the spiritual sense, man, because let's get right at this too. Revelation chapter 2 verse 20. It says, "Now withstanding it, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which called herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto our idols. I gave her a spirit to repent of her fornication, and she repented not." So see, that's just that. What's another? Because there's so many layers to what Jezebel did. Not only this, the law with don't move your about the inheritance or the landmark or stuff like that belongs to somebody, because of course that's in the law and in Proverbs, things of that nature. But also too, like the brother sent me first one said, it goes that Jezebel spirit goes into say if you're in assembly or church or congregation, and it's and it's that spirit, that kind of that sons of Korah spirit, I have something to say, or that it's a rebellious type of spirit. But also too, it's the aspect of what did she do. She did something. One, she got she did something rebellious and self-will in the king's name. So that's kind of this is kind of a reminder for us in the Most High, in the word, in the Most High House body, not to be self-will, honestly, because that's what it is. And then the king, and that's even though Ahab was wicked, later repented, but still was wicked. That's more like us being being rebellious and or doing our own will. That's why the Most High. Let's get John chapter 3 verse 30. And like the brother Akawar perfectly said, man, in situations in our life, the Most High House's will increases. Like the Most High House increase and we decrease, honestly, so they can get praised, the esteem and glorified, honestly. But just like the First John 2:17 says, their will last forever. My will doesn't, man. So John 3 chapter 30, he says he must increase, but I must decrease. So see, yeah, let's grab this again, man. Let's look at this and think about this again, because it's like and that goes to show you that too. That let's get this inside right too as well, because a whore honestly is a mentality, honestly, because even in the ancient world, like in the temple prostitutes or whores in the ancient world, man, they were like dressed modest, things of that nature. So that goes to show you, not the whore isn't always like what we see like a lot of times all throughout, like these women dressing like what we see now, or what we have been seeing, like women dressing like prostitutes and attire of hardly things of that nature. What we kind of see now, and like we kind of seen coming up, but even higher more so now. That's like yeah, but really it starts because like like the brother Carmen Call and Shalama said everything starts inwardly or spiritually, like then it comes physically, man. Because a horror honestly is a mentality, man. It's like self-will, that's just is what it is, man. Because she was supposed to be married, but she wanted to do her own will. But also too, then that deals into like a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. That's what, because Ahab wanted it as well, and he was supposed to stop it, but his own lust, his own desires did. But see, we can't say that with Yahweh Shah, because he's the most righteous man to ever walk the earth. So yeah, because he came to do the will of his father. He's a lamb without blemish. So, but we're just saying this in an aspect of that, like us being self-willed and like and doing these things, because she wrote it in the king's name, honestly. So when we do things self-willed, man, that's profane. That's profaning and blaspheming the Most High Yahweh's name, man. So yeah, that's just something that yeah, and also too, just to cut. No, let's grab this too. Let's get Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 26, verse 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced feared the Lord. So see, exactly. And that actually, too, be honest with you, that, like, and this is good news translation, it calls, that actually calls, no, I ain't gonna say that because, just for face value, but it calls a woman, like, to be, like, shamefaced woman, like, a bitch. It could, excuse my, language, but yeah, like that Tupac song said, that Pac song said, wonder why they call you bitch, because honestly, like now I'm not saying like honestly, let's where we go around calling them like one. It's talking about like it's just talking about a shameless one. It's not talking about women in general, like a righteous, virtuous, like not damn sure not virtuous woman or upright or honest woman of faith and integrity and like obedient, like a submissive. No, it's not talking about that, honestly. Like so that's just is what it is. It's like so it's even outside the word too. Like you just not even honestly too. That's why like that type of thing. What type of woman that's being talked about there. Just like that's just is what it is. So it's like it's a certain type like of that. But yeah. But anyway, if you read in the other translation, that's what that it says. But anyway, man, but it says a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she is shamefaced will fear the Lord. So exactly, man, and none of why, and wasn't Jezebel shameless, and then she like then wasn't she eaten by dogs? So hey, that's kind of like that's how the Most High Yahweh works. That's just the brilliant. That's just the genius of the Most High Yahweh, how they're the ultimate judges and how they will recompense you according to your ways. But also too, man. That just goes to show you a whore is a mentality as well, man, because and that's just is what it is too. So and that goes to show you too with that whole what you call them and even honestly too, but Ahab is like even though like let's say this too, because like the man is the head, honestly, but Jezebel had to be very, very, very evil and wicked, because she's in the last book of the Bible. But let me say this too, because Jezebel is not an actual whore. Because a lot of times too we say I've known when people say that, like it's like a rebellious type of spirit. That's why a whore is more of a rebellious type. So when they say that, yes. Like yes, honestly, like that in that aspect, that's correct. Honestly, like she was like a whore, as in her mentality, like it was very self-willed, like honestly. But no, she wasn't like when you see like hoes out here or whores, actual whores that's out here like just having a bunch of sex. No, Jezebel was married, so let's just kind of make that distinction because no, Jezebel wasn't like she was married. Honestly, she was that. But I know what they mean when she was when they say that Jezebel spirit, they're really talking about spirit like of rebelliousness. Honestly, that's what it is, but not like you see a bunch of like women having like a bunch of sex things, and it's just saying, "Oh, that's Jezebel." No, that's just like a whore, harlot, honestly. But yeah, because Jezebel was married. But anyway, but yeah, man, and it goes to show you too. But anyway, going since we're talking about that, it goes to show you how like there's difference between being married and being a wife, honestly. And the word goes into that because doesn't the word say is a woman that is married? So this going to because it's too a lot of even modern like times now women they don't want to be wife, they just want to be married. I was actually one of the sister because you gotta be mindful of that language, honestly, to that verbiage, I should say, when they say that, because they don't want to be wife, they just want to be married, but they don't want to be wife, honestly. So that's just is what it is, so pretty much in other words, like, yes, I want to be with this man, but I want to still do my own thing. Just sounds no different from even with men too. A lot of men don't want to be actual husbands, they want to be they just want to be married. It's just kind of same type of deal, but it's similar in that woman aspect is and that's no different from because how people want the most high in your house child, like they want to want to be amongst being the word, but still want to do what they want to do. Honestly, don't but want to be married. Well, one, you can't be married and want to and do what you want to do, man. Because the most high houses will comes it's gonna they like we was just saying they will have to increase and we had to decrease, but that's just what it is. But no, some people still I even had to check that too when you want to be in this, but still want to do what you want to do. Nah, it don't go like that. So yeah, it's like because that's why you say you either here or you over there. I'm not doing that, honestly, man. So that's just it is what it is, honestly. If you want to be with them, that's kind of what we always talk about with the whole other guys before me. Just when that dynamic of when men when a woman gets with a man, even with brothers, even with men as well. It's not fair for the new woman in your life to constantly compare her to others. No, don't do that. That's not fair. But also too, that's why that dynamic comes because that's what the Most High House I did with us. Like when we came out of Egypt. Listen, all the other guys, like all those other guys you were there serving, leave them over there. Just that's where that dynamic comes from. All those other men you dealt with. Listen, don't compare me to that because I'm not them. So that's what the Most High House I did with us. Listen, all those other guys y'all was doing in Egypt and all the leave them over there because I'm not them. So yeah, that's just what it is too. So yeah, but let's get that in Proverbs too. How it says that odious woman that's married. That means kind of like a hateful woman or this a incorrigible. This a uneasy unpleasant, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a couple words I'm looking for. Just not a good wife to be around that's married. Because I'm pretty sure our brothers and sisters seen that. I've seen that, but yeah, Proverbs chapter because this goes into Proverbs chapter 30 verse 21. It says, for there be three things in the earth that is disquieted for four which it cannot bear. But let's get to verse 23. It says, for Adi's woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is her heir her mistress. So yeah, so let's grab that too. Let's get this in Good News Translation because yeah, Proverbs chapter 30 verse 21. It says, Proverbs chapter 30 verse 23 in the Good News Translation, a hateful woman who gets married. Let's skip to verse 21. Let's read it. There be four things on the earth that it itself cannot tolerate. We read down. A slave who becomes king, a fool who eats all a fool who has all he wants to eat. Verse 23, a hateful woman who gets married, and a servant woman who takes her place as mistress. So yeah, See, there's the difference between being married and being a wife, honestly, man. But so that's just what it is too. Too. No, I might actually just that might be the next video since we just talked about that. But pretty much, man, that going back to Jezebel, honestly, that's how honestly too we had to just I did that video. We kind of talked about that, and when I know no, I'm gonna say we, but we talked about that video, and I had that experience, like it says in Jude, woe to them they go in the way of Cain, or I had a Cain moment, honestly. It was like a few months ago, somebody asked me to do something for them, and it wasn't what they said. So in the moment, I kind of felt in the moment I had to check myself, like, damn, I'm having a Cain type of moment, Cain type of spirit right now. And I kind of got myself upset about it. I remember I was like, yeah, he didn't ask for that. That person didn't ask for that. So yeah, but here we gotta realize too. Watch if we're having a Jezebel type of spirit or moment, as in we're doing something self-will, but but claiming to be or supposedly to be married, but or in the king's name or in Yahushua's name, honestly, which is the king, which is the Most High Yahusha, who we're supposed to be married to. Even though there's difference between, because King Ahab and Jezebel, they work it, but it's just more of a self thing to self-examine, because what if you read 1 Kings 21, that what she did was very self-will, and she did everything in the king's name, for her own, one for his desires, because he wanted something that she wanted as well, because and also too, it was more malicious now. It's probably just to take it, because one, that didn't belong to you, that belonged to that man. Also too, she bared false witness, and there's a lot of layers that go into that, man. That's why the Most High Yahusha tells us to meditate on the word, man, because yeah, man, this the only really book there is really you could read read it and get some new every time, man. Because you know what it is too, and that goes to show you the brilliance of something, man. Because how much more with the Most High Yahushua's word. That's why me personally, I like the Wire so much, because every time I watch or think about it, I can get something new. But also too, even a certain movie I like that, even Sinners, that came out this year. It's like each time I watch it, I could get something new. But how much more, even those things go natural, how much more with the word, man. But anyway, man, that's just really it. Is what it is with the what you call with Jezebel, man. Because honestly, she did something in the king's. Did something self-will and rebellious in the king's name, honestly, for her own desires. So and for his desires, but for her own desires. But we can't say for Yahushua, we can't say that for him. But it's just more of us being Jezebel in that aspect. Just because a lot of times that's why Jeremiah 6:2 is very, very key. Now we know Jezebel wasn't she was Hamitic. She was but that's why when a lot of times too, when people even talk about Eve, no, listen, we're Eve, honestly, then, because he tells us the end from the beginning, because that's how it was a precursor how he would deal with us, because then we had the word and we rejected it and we went off, so yeah, no different from Eve, well, no different from Eve, and she's way more righteous than me, so yeah, and that's the only thing you record that she did, so that's just what it is. Even Jezebel, too, when doing something that's self-willed and rebellious, but in the Most High Yahushua's name, honestly. So and that's part of that's part of blaspheming or profaning his name. So hopefully it's edifying, man. Because I don't know, I was listening to Outkast song yesterday, and it kind of came to mind, man. So anyway, so peace.